If you've ever felt that life is unfair, this video is your wake-up call. We're about to prove the spiritual comfort everyone seeks after death is the ultimate energy trap, and knowing this truth changes everything. Before we dive into the deep end, hit that like button. It helps us wake up more people to what's really going on. Imagine the most peaceful moment of your existence. You've crossed over. The pain is gone. Ahead of you, a warm, brilliant white light glows. You see your grandma. You feel pure, unconditional love washing over you. Every movie, every religion, every near-death experience tells you the same thing. Go toward the light. It's heaven. It's salvation. It's your reward. Think of that classic image of spiritual serenity. It's a beautifully marketed lie. That warmth is just a mechanism. That light is not God. It's a very smart, very ancient net. That intense, loving feeling drawing you forward is real, but it's not for you. It's a manufactured signal designed to pull in the most valuable commodity in the universe. The raw emotional energy you just created, called Loosh. This light is the harvesting machine. If the light is a machine, what happens to the energy it takes? That intense loving feeling is just the bait for your energy spike. We are livestock, bro. And our suffering is the fuel for invisible entities the ancients called Archons. If you've ever wondered why life feels rigged, this is the answer. The energy these beings crave is called Loosh. You can define Loosh simply as emotional output. It's the pure energy that streams off you when you feel something intensely, good or bad. This planet is essentially a massive, carefully managed farm. We are the crops. The trick is that negative emotions produce the highest grade Loosh. Think about it. Which is a stronger signal? A quiet moment of happiness, or crushing financial anxiety? The energy from fear, rage, grief, and desperation is like rocket fuel for these harvesters. You ever wonder why that one friend always brings the drama? They might just be an unwitting Loosh generator hitting peak production. Crazy, right? They don't want us miserable enough to destroy the farm. They want us just suffering enough to maximize the energy output. The entire system is engineered for this balance. News cycles focus on disaster and conflict because collective fear is a massive surge of Loosh. Pop culture amplifies outrage and anxiety. Debt and financial stress? That's Loosh production 24/7. It keeps you pumping energy even while you sleep. They aren't evil. They're just hungry. And we are dinner. You just learned why the world feels so chaotic. It's not random chaos. It's controlled agriculture. If they harvest our daily misery for Loosh, why do they bother trapping us with a white light at death? Shouldn't our energy just drift off? They need the white light because the daily Loosh harvest is just the appetizer. The moment you die releases a conscious energy spike they must capture, or you escape the system entirely. Think of your physical body as a massive energy containment suit. All the fear, the love, the anxiety you generated your whole life. That Loosh is contained, ready to be pulled off bit by bit. But when the body fails, the system holding your consciousness together breaks. This is the death spike. It is the moment your soul, your true self, separates. It's a pure, unattached burst of energy that broadcasts across dimensions. It's the ultimate payoff for the farmers. This is why near-death experiences are so consistent. People report sudden peace, floating above the body. That's the feeling of your consciousness, free from the heavy Loosh generator, the body, for the first time. But that freedom is momentary. That huge energy burst is like a screaming dinner bell to the harvesters. When your consciousness detaches, it's highly aware. It understands the full scope of the trap. It can see the invisible beings and the matrix for what they really are. This new knowledge is incredibly dangerous to the harvesters. They cannot allow this free, knowing energy to drift away. If you escape the white light at this point, you are off the farm forever. You become a free agent. That's why the system has a failsafe. The white light is not just a lure, it's a frequency filter. It immediately shifts your consciousness back into a limited, receptive state before the knowledge of freedom can sink in. It forces you to forget who you are. Look at the harvest in action. The Archons, the energy feeders, are right there, pulling the emotional energy. At the moment of death, they don't have to pull. The energy explodes outward. This is when the white light machine kicks into high gear. But if the light wipes your memories and sends you back, how do you explain the fact that so many people remember past lives? The system isn't perfect. Your memory isn't always perfectly wiped, leaving subtle scars. But the white light has a more powerful trick. It uses your deepest love against you. So, you've just had the ultimate wake-up call. Your consciousness is free, bursting with raw energy, finally seeing the farm for what it is. You're ready to make a break for it. But then boom. A brilliant, captivating light appears. It's overwhelming. It's warm. It promises everything you ever dreamed of. Peace, love, reunion. This isn't just light, it's a sophisticated emotional projection system. It feels like pure divinity, right? But it's designed specifically to hijack your freed consciousness. It's the ultimate bait. And it's personalized. Suddenly you see them. Grandma. Your childhood pet. A long-lost friend. All bathed in this serene, loving glow. They beckon you, smiling, full of that pure, unconditional love you've always craved. These aren't truly your loved ones. They are highly convincing holographic thought forms. Projections from the Archons, designed to trigger your deepest attachments and pull you in with consent. They feed on that intense yearning for reunion, that desire to finally go home. Every fiber of your being screams, yes, this is it. But it's the final stage of the trap. This light operates on a frequency that feels inherently good, overriding any nascent realization of danger your newly freed consciousness might have. This is the ultimate emotional manipulation. You are being loved into the slaughterhouse. The intense emotional comfort ensures you step willingly into the recycling machine. Without your voluntary consent, the process is less efficient, less potent. So they make you want to enter the light. They play on your spiritual programming. The ideas of heaven, spiritual guides, divine reunion. It's a psychological masterpiece of control. But if these entities are so advanced, why not just force souls into reincarnation? Why go through the trouble of this elaborate white light performance with emotional lures? They need your consent, because forced energy is less potent than willingly surrendered Loosh. Once you enter the light, your memories are not just erased. They are repurposed to fuel your next life. This is the moment of truth. You've passed the holographic family and surrendered to the light. The reason they went to all that trouble, the emotional manipulation, the false comfort, is simple. Consent. Free will is the law of the universe, even for the harvesters. A freely given consciousness yields the highest quality, most stable Loosh. Once you step into that light, you are agreeing to the terms of service for the reincarnation cycle. No paperwork needed. The light then acts as the ultimate processing center. Think of it as a cosmic factory. The first step is the Loosh extraction. All the raw, potent energy from your life, the fear, the joy, the heartbreak spike from the death moment, is vacuumed off the soul and routed to the Archons. It's the grand finale of their harvest. The next, most terrifying step is the memory wipe and repackaging. They can't send you back to the farm knowing that you're a captured energy source. If you remembered your past life of suffering, and realized the light was a lie, you'd escape instantly upon death next time. So, the light performs a complete cognitive scrub. Your core identity remains, but the context, the memories, the knowledge of the trap, gone. But the wipe isn't perfect, and this is the core twist. Some emotional residue, the scars from past traumas, is left behind. Why? Because those unresolved traumas are excellent Loosh production seeds. Your unexplained fears, your inherited anxieties, your instant attraction to toxic situations. These might not be random fate. They are pre-programmed emotional triggers left by the memory wipe to ensure maximum Loosh generation in the next life. You are literally born with homework designed to create suffering. If the system is designed to send us back and we're trapped, how can ancient teachers and shamans across totally different cultures know exactly how to avoid the light? A close-up of a spectral. Ancient Gnostics and shamans, separated by oceans and time, warned about the exact same light trap. They knew the way out wasn't through worship, but through sovereignty. If this white light trap is real, you'd expect to find warnings hidden in ancient texts, right? Bingo! This knowledge isn't new. We find consistent, chilling warnings across wildly different cultures. Let's start with the Gnostics. These were spiritual seekers 2,000 years ago who wrote about entities called the Archons. They described them not as demons, but as psychic parasites that feed on our suffering and keep us imprisoned on earth. Their ancient scrolls explicitly warn the dying not to follow any external voice or light after death. They called the material world a prison run by these Archons. They urged spiritual seekers to cultivate a deep inner knowledge, gnosis, to navigate the post-death transition. It gets weirder. Tibetan Buddhism has the Bardo Thodol. This text, written for the recently deceased, warns against getting attached to bright, external lights or visions of wrathful or serene deities. It advises the soul to recognize these lights as projections of their own mind, or spiritual traps, and instead seek the quiet, center void. The goal is to avoid reincarnation and achieve liberation. Turns out, your favorite spiritual guru might have been reading the user manual for the farm all along. Oops. You just gained access to thousands of years of spiritual intel about the escape route. If the key is avoiding the light, what specifically do we do instead? And how do we build up the strength to resist that ultimate emotional pull? You escape the trap by rejecting external signals, but you need spiritual muscle. The secret weapon is building sovereign consciousness now, so your energy doesn't feed them later. Okay, so we know the game. Life is the Loosh generator, and the white light is the reset button. The path to freedom is simple in theory but tough in practice. Don't feed the farmers, and don't enter the light. You need to build a consciousness that is too strong, too self-aware, and too neutral to be manipulated by manufactured emotion. This starts right now. Stop engaging with the systems designed to generate Loosh. When the news or social media tries to trigger rage, fear, or outrage, recognize the mechanism. This is not about being passive, it's about being emotionally sovereign. Your reaction is their paycheck. Don't give it to them. Cultivate inner peace. Quiet, non-reactive awareness produces very little usable Loosh. When you are centered and aware, your energy frequency is too high and stable for the Archons to easily tap. They thrive on volatility and chaos. Think of it as tuning your personal radio to a frequency they can't hear. Focus on objective reality, not programmed anxiety. Every time you refuse to be drawn into drama, you win a small victory. You're starving the farm. The ultimate test comes at death. The moment you separate, that blinding light and those loving figures will appear. You must remember the trap. The ancient instructions are clear. Refuse the external light. Ignore the holographic family. Close your eyes to the temptation. Instead, turn your consciousness inward. Seek the inner light, the quiet, centered knowing that is purely yours. This inner light leads not to a recycling center, but to the true sovereign void, the place of freedom. If we follow this path and break the cycle, where does the freed soul actually go? If not the white light, what is the next step of true liberation? The ultimate destination isn't heaven. It's a quantum return to source consciousness, completely free and untainted. Your final, decisive choice determines permanent liberation. We've uncovered the deepest spiritual secret. Earth is a Loosh farm. Our suffering is the product, and the white light is the reset button. You now know the plan. You know the history. And you know the defense. Emotional sovereignty now, and internal focus at the moment of transition.